Hi all, welcome, Cynthia here. Today I'm working on a 12 by 12 layout, and I have to say this is right outside my comfort zone. So the papers that I'm working on we received in the, month are we in? The September kit from Kitaholic Kit Club, and the papers are Crazy Calf Factory 42. These type of papers I never use. I don't think I've ever made a layout with a sort of, I don't know, what would you call it? Stressy, dark, greys, blacks, grungy. I guess that's all the words you would use. I'm a kind, if you know me, I love my colours, my bright colours. So this is, I think you get the picture. It's outside my comfort zone. So I received, and I really did not have a clue how I was going to use these papers. And initially I actually thought that I may not even open the kit. I may leave it as a whole kit. And at some point, when I reach 250 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway. And I thought maybe I could have this as a giveaway. But then again, I thought, well, I probably shouldn't give away something that I actually don't like. Maybe I should give away something that I would like. But anyway, moving on. So as I was thinking about what I'm going to do with all these papers, I was watching Tracy Banks, and she was doing a layout, and she actually did this pattern. So she took a lot of bright, fun colours and made all these squares for her background. And I thought to myself, perfect, that's exactly how I can use all these. I'm going to be able to use a lot of the papers on one layout, and if I can use this rusty orangey colour as the sort of the pops of colour, hopefully that will work. So I just pulled out the papers and started cutting different sizes. So the three photos that I have here are three 4x4 photos, and I just cut the squares in the background 4x4, 3x4, no, 3x3 or 2x2. And now I've just spread them around, trying to get the colours evenly spaced around the page. Tracy also stitched around, machine stitched around her squares, and I did exactly the same as well. So it is very much inspired by Tracy Banks, this layout. How has everyone been? Everyone been well? It's been a little while since I've done a straight 12 by 12. I have to say I've started doing art journaling. Well, I've been art journaling now for about 18 months, but in the last couple of months it's really taken over, and all I want to do is do a bit of art journaling. So some of my layouts or videos that have gone up are all around art journaling, and I do hope you are enjoying those. And if you're not into art journaling, I hope you're sticking with me. I will start putting a few more scrap pages back up. So here you go. I just pulled out the sewing machine and I'm going to start sewing. Of course you can't see anything. I cut away and I come back with them all sewed. Here they are. I just relay them back on the page. I try to put all the loose threads into the middle of the page because I know that I'll put my photos over top of those, and we'll cover them up. Save me having to cut them all off. And now I just go back through and lay them all down. And actually, Looking at the page, I have to say that I don't mind it. I quite like the design. I like the way it's come together. Yes, the colours are generally not the colours I would generally scrapbook with, but I quite like it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else I can do with the kit and the collection. So, nearly got them back together. So as I said, just spreading them around, squares around. So there's a bit of the colours go everywhere. So the photos that I'm working on are 3 photos of, so the middle photo is of my husband and our son, and recently at his cub night, they did a Father's Day dinner. So all the cubs did the cooking and all the prepping and all the cooking. And so this is what this is about. So hence the top photo has a little sticker over the majority of the table on one side. I don't really think you can see faces that much. They're pretty small. It was a great night. So the kids cooked up spaghetti pasta, bolognese, that was it, spaghetti bolognese. No, without the mince, just the tomato based. It's gone out of my mind. The tomato-based pasta sauce and spaghetti, and served it up. I have to say, it was well cooked, and then someone realised that there was some more onions somewhere, probably a 1.5 onion, and they threw that in at the last minute. So I think that Dad's got a fair bit of raw onion. But I have to say I did eat some myself because I volunteer and help out at Cubs, so I was volunteering in the kitchen or in general, so I did try some and it wasn't too bad. So actually this stamp that came with the kit, it's the Kaiser Craft Factory 42 stamp, and it has Happy Father's Day, and so that was quite good to be able to scrap these photos with, so I used that. Here I'm going through the ephemera pack, or the collection pack collectibles, I think they're called, that come with this line, and I pull out some bits and pieces that I think I might use. I'm trying to go with some of the lighter colour pieces, so I pull out a stack there. This is where I decide that I'm going to see whether I can get that stamp to fit in that little section there, and I decide I will, so I pull out a scratch piece of paper just to stamp it off the first time as it's a brand new stamp, and ultimately I end up using one of those because when I stamped on the pattern paper directly, there's just too much unevenness in the page and I couldn't get it to stamp even though I did it twice. But ultimately it didn't print very well, so I pulled back my scratch bits and I thought, that's sort of got the same colour tones. It's a sort of a light grey piece of paper, so I trimmed that up and I test it and I think, yep, that will do perfectly fine. So I grab the ink and just ink up around the edges and pop that down. Have a look to see whether there's anything else. I thought I might stamp some cogs around the page, but I've decided that it's probably, by the time I put my ephemera pieces on here, it's probably going to be busy enough, so I don't do that. Go around, I put a couple of cogs in 3 different locations around the page, and then I grab, you saw me put that big circle, that one that I'm hanging on to there on the left now, that says let's go on an adventure together, and cooking the meal and eating it certainly was an adventure. And then on the other side I've got World's Greatest Dad. That's that square one, and underneath that is a small round element as well, which says you are my favourite person. Going back through the seeing whether there's anything else, I've decided that I'll put a few more cogs around. Just having a look, still thinking about the stamps. Decided that I will cut this clock up instead, and I'll put half the clock up there, and then I will put the other half of the clock down the bottom left cluster. Cutting the cogs up, trying to slip them in to have 3 little clusters, and I definitely want them poking out around or off the square just to give it some different shapes and texture. Put that little one down there. I think that possibly says just us, or something like that, but it doesn't go there. I ultimately put it on the left hand side. There's a couple of that all about the same size that have a couple of different phrases on it, so yep, gluing it down, so that one must say just us. And the one up the top, the little one up the top here that I glue down, is love you. This is getting close to the end of the page. I glue these down and then I go and grab some enamel dots. I knew I had some brown ones. The kit came with some little gems, but I knew I had some brown enamel dots, so I went looking for those, and they're more little brown pearls, and I use those. Then I do some journaling, so I just do some journaling in some different spots, and I just talk about how the cubs cooked a special dinner for the dad's night, and how there could have been a little bit of raw onion in the mix, and how all the dads did a good job to eat it. It was a great night. So I'll find 3 spots to do the journaling, so I just do a little bit in each of the sort of the lighter colour squares that I have. And that is about it. I don't show it on camera, but after the camera stops, I grab out my white paint pen and just draw a messy white border around the edge. I just felt like the edges was missing some things, and that was all I do. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you keep coming back and having a look to see how else I use the rest of this kit, and hopefully I can make it all work for me. Once again, thank you very much. I will catch you on the next one. Talk then. Bye.